today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to spike like a pro in Volleyball Legends. I'll go over the basics, pro tips, and tricks you need to know for being a pro-level spiker. First the basics, then I'll move on to the more advanced stuff. I'm starting with tilting. Tilting to either sides extends your hitbox in the direction you're tilting. Tilting forward causes the ball to speed up and hit the ground faster, and typically can't be used unless close to the net. And tilting backwards slows the ball down and causes it to hit the ground slower. More that tilting backwards can send the ball completely out. It's usually better with weaker spikes. And the backwards tilt is also good for hitting opposite corner spikes really well. Now, to get consistently hard spikes, the easiest way to do this is to make sure the ball's above your head and you're close to the pinnacle of your jump when you spike it. Most of your spiking is just timing your jump and the subsequent hit after. To better practice, you can have someone just toss you up spikes randomly, or just throw yourself up, sets in the practice mode, and get your timing down. The most common mistake people make with spiking is tilting too much and not tilting when they're supposed to. People oftentimes instinctively tilt forward when at the back of the court. Stop doing this, it causes you to get too low. Now let's move on to the advanced stuff. If you think you can hit a hard spike with good consistency, next you should work on aiming them and hitting them past blocks. There's quite a few different ways to do that, but we first have a flick. This is where you face one direction and you simply flick the other and jump and spike. It's really simple, but there's another type of spiking. Unshift locking and shift locking when you spike. And it's a better way to get through defenders because the defenders will be looking at you. So if you're pre-aiming everything, they're also going to be just watching where you're pre-aiming. The defenders are always watching you to try to figure out where you're going with your spike, so do everything you can to throw them off or just spike where they're not going to be. My favorite is a back tilt across the court to the corner. A tilt down spike straight forward or just kind of straight forward. A no-line spike on the closest line to me, or a cross, like really tight angle cross. And play smart if your current position is trash. Don't ego spike and give the other team free points. Instead, let someone set for you while you reposition for a better play. Now, how to find space as a spiker. The most common type of spacing is 2 spikers on the wing and a center mid. Doing this forces the defense to mark each spiker. As a consequence, stretches the defense out. This is good because as a spiker, no matter how good you are, it's very hard to get spikes through 3 blocks in your face. So having the defense spread out forces them to be coordinated and mark each 3 of you individually. And sometimes no one will be marked and the setter can just set it to them. Although having a good setter is a bit of a prerequisite as a spiker, but makes applying the tips I just taught you about much easier. Now for some spikes. At first we have the delayed spike. Hitting the ball at the pinnacle of its height is just the easiest way to get a hard spike, but not the only way. You can delay your spike very low as long as it'll still be over the net, because a too low just means it wasn't going to be over the net. Using that info, you can delay your spike pretty long. So sometimes you can bait out their jump or just jump suddenly and get a quick spike in when they don't expect it. At number 2 is the quicks. It's pretty simple. Pretty much your setter sets it and it's immediately spiked down by you. You can do this by simply standing on them and having them pop it into your hand. And this is my tier list for every flow for spikes. But that's my video and my name's Giorgio. Bye.